Let's talk about values in an organization, because we know that great companies have to have a culture, and that centers around having core values. And that's what I want to talk about. The hard thing is core values are something very specific, and other values get in the way. And too many organizations have 10 or 12 core values, and that can't possibly be the case. So what we're really trying to do is understand what a core value is. To do that, let's talk about the other kinds. So there's 3 kinds of values other than core values. And if we don't understand those, we're going to get this mixed up. So the first kind of value that's not core is what we would call aspirational values. Now, an aspirational value is one that your organization definitely doesn't have, but it's important for the success of the company. And you need to manage it in there. You need to say, hey, we are not naturally like this, but we need to be, so let's artificially aspire to make that a value. It's never going to be core to who we are naturally, but it's something that's important. I'll use an example from my own firm. When we started, I would not call myself a person of exactitude and professionalism. I like to kind of wing things, and I like to be very informal. Well, as my company started to grow and become more successful and it scaled, people said, we need to become more professional. We have to have a clearer logo, and we have to have slides that look professional, and we have to have documents that document what we do. So we said, let's become aspirationally more professional. So it's important to us, but it wasn't core to who we are. All right. So it's really important to know the difference, because if we call one of our aspirational values core, the people that work in our company are going to go, that's not really who we are. And it's going to confuse them. Okay, another value that we often confuse with core values is what we call permission to play. These are what I would call minimal values. Just the kind of values you have to even interview someplace, because if a person doesn't have those, there's not even a chance that you'd want them to work there. These often come down to things like honesty and even integrity. Now, so many of the people I worked with would say, we need to make those our core values. And I would say, but is that going to differentiate you from other organizations? Isn't that something that's kind of a low bar? And they say, yeah, but we want to make it important. So what we say is this: call it what it is. We're not even going to interview somebody or consider somebody if they don't have integrity and honesty and a few other things like that. But to call it one of the things that differentiates us makes it too easy to justify hiring just about anyone. The last one is what we call accidental values. Accidental values are values that are real and they exist in your organization, but you didn't choose them. You don't really want them. They just came about in kind of a natural way that you didn't intend. And I will tell you, for a long time at our company, most of the people who started my firm, we all were about the same age. And so we all had small children as the company was growing. It seemed that everyone we knew had small children because that's the only people we interacted with. And so all of our new hires were people like us. And one day we said, is that a core value of our company, that people have to have small children to work here? Of course not. We should be hiring younger people. We should be hiring older people at different parts of their lives. So we said we have to guard against the accidental value of hiring people of the same age group and going through the same things in their lives. Now, when we understand what's aspirational, what's permission to play, and what's accidental, it leaves us with what remains, which is the core. And core values are 2 or 3 things that are just absolutely inviolable. Like I like to say, it's something you don't want to have tolerance around or diversity around. Now, once you know what core values are, you hire people that have those, and then diversity is a wonderful thing. But when you hire people that don't share your core values, they don't fit, you have a hard time knowing how to work with them, and your company lacks culture. Now, at our company, we started out with 3 core values, and after 25 years, so this doesn't happen very often, we refounded our company and added another one. That was essentially restarting with another value that differentiated us and took us to our next phase. The question I have for leaders is, what are the 2 or 3 things that make you who you are and that makes it a lot easier to hire new people, to help people leave that don't belong, and to guide all of the decisions you make so that you create a real culture?